as I'm listening to you, Michael, I love kind of the subtext of how you describe leadership, which is really building up your people.
Yeah.
Right. So often we think of, and too often people intuitively think of leadership as bossyship, the ability to give orders.
No way.
And you're characterizing it as something very different than that. So is that shift of thinking from, my job is to tell people what to do and their job is to do it, versus my job is to help people be successful in what they need to do so we're all successful. That shift, and I don't think that's just necessarily generational. I've met interesting characters at all age groups and backgrounds, so in that area. But I guess my question is how somebody at the very top, right? Let's say even in a small mid-market company could have 100 employees, and so you have like 15 managers. How do you inculcate that belief system or that way of being downstream so that it actually starts changing a company?
Yeah. So the first thing is the leader has to believe it, right? And there's a shift, and this is not because of the pandemic. I mean, this has been going on for years. It's one of the reasons why I started Rebel Culture, because we talked to all these leaders and all these employees in really successful and in some cases struggling companies. But the overwhelming theme was people were unhappy. And when we asked them why, it was like, I don't feel like I matter here. I feel like I'm being barked at all day. There's no accountability for anybody. I don't know what we're trying to accomplish. Like I don't get evaluated. I don't get feedback and things like that. I'm mostly directionless. And so getting orders or like I'm getting orders barked at me, and I do it because I don't want to get fired, but I don't really care about it. I'm not invested. And so the first thing that has to happen for it to go downstream, as you mentioned, is the leader actually has to believe that being a boss is actually a sacred responsibility.